Hey y'all, it's Heel Heat time.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to Heel Heat. My name is George Coles, and this is the debut of our NXT show. Now, basically, this is going to be a review of the Thursday NXT show on WWE Network. If you watch our shows, it's going to run a little bit like Ring of Honor, where we just go in the order it showed, because it's only an hour show. It makes it easier. But there'll be a couple little cool things that we're doing on this that we don't do on our others. So, with that being said, let's jump right into the fire. First match of the night, a 6-woman tag team match. Bayley, Emma, and Paige versus the BFFs, Sasha Banks, Charlotte, and Summer Rae. The story of the match is the BFFs have tension within the group since Charlotte won the NXT Divas Championship and seems to be causing some jealousy and a rift. The faces pick up the big win. Just an awesome match, a great way to start the show. I really enjoy what NXT does with their Divas division. I know a lot of it has to do with the teachings of Sarah Del Rey, but it's so refreshing to see beautiful women. And don't get me wrong, all 6 of these women are beautiful. But they can all actually wrestle and all actually put on a good show for you. And not be anything like my good friend Laura Lyons from Live from the Armory. Like she says that they're not doing a musical chairs match or a Divas dressed up for the holidays match. Just good old style actual wrestling. A great opener for the show. Leads us into our next match. Colin Cassidy versus Sylvester Lafort, who has with him Marcus Lewis. Colin Cassidy is a really good, agile big man. I believe he's a legit 7-foot guy. He can move around the ring. Kind of reminds me of a guy, reminds me of a Test kind of person. Mostly he's going to be teaming with Enzo Amore, who's going to be coming back really soon. Colin Cassidy picks up the big win in a decent match, really good, really got to show him off more. I think, if I believe right, he hasn't been on either of their specials yet, so giving the fans a little bit to see with him. Next up, we had a backstage segment with our resident thespian, Aiden English. He was doing an interview. He was interrupted by the debuting Simon Gotch, who, if you don't know, he's running an old school 30s style wrestler gimmick. They're going to eventually team up, spoiler alert, become the Vaudevillains, and this is the start of it. I think they're going to work well together. I like Aiden English. He brings a different vibe, a different style to the ring, a different way to look at wrestling, if you ask me. Great little segment. Leads us right into our next match with Sami Zayn, everybody's favorite NXT wrestler, versus the debuting, newly signed by JBL, Mr. NXT, who surprisingly has the mannerisms and look of a former NXT champion that just lost to the loser leaves NXT match, Bo Dallas. Sami takes the mask off, picks up the win. Security takes Bo outside. Bo's great, especially in NXT, where the crowd, it's a little bit of a more intimate crowd, and they get to have more of a reaction to him and what he's doing. Him fighting with the security, taking him out of there, was just hilarious. Sami Zayn, I mean, the guy's money. It's only a matter of time before he's on the main roster. What a great wrestler, both of them, Bo Dallas and Sami Zayn. Another great match for the show, which leads us into our main event of the night, our rematch from NXT TakeOver for the NXT Championship. Adrian Neville versus Tyson Kidd. We get to see a little bit more of what's looking to be a Tyson Kidd heel turn. He threatens to use a chair on Neville. Natalya stops him. Neville picks up the win after hitting the most impressive, I think one of the most impressive moves in wrestling, the Red Arrow, which is a twisting shooting star press. If you've never seen it, it's just amazing. There's a reason why they call Neville the man that gravity forgot, and this is why. A good solid match. I like their match on TakeOver better, but this was still a good match, a good way to end the show, a good way to involve Tyson Kidd's upcoming heel turn. I think it was a nice way to get everything. Plus, Neville getting a win over a guy that's off of the main roster, that's been on television that people know, is always going to help Neville's stock. Now, here's where we're going to do things a little bit different than we do on our normal shows. Normally, we give a rating to our show. I'm not going to rate NXT. Simple reason, these are the people that are working to get to the big show, so they're trying and doing different things. I'm not going to be negative. If something's bad, I'm going to point out how bad it is. If something's good, I'm going to point out how great it is. But I don't want to give the show itself. The shows themselves are pretty good and entertaining and fun. So I'm going to keep the reviews as that. Just entertaining and fun, and not worry about, is this a 2-star show, a 5-star show, or whatever. However, in its place, every week I'm going to put a top 5 prospects. Basically, the parameters are this. To be in the top 5, you got to be someone that's not sharing time between the main roster and NXT. In other words, people like Tyson Kidd, like Emma, like Paige, like Natalya Neidhart, who both wrestle on both shows. They're not going to make the top prospects because they've already got to the main roster. This is more for the people that haven't quite made it there yet, or haven't been there in a long, long time and are working their way back. Kind of like a couple years ago with Damian Sandow. He made it to the WWE roster as Idol Stevens a number of years back, left the company, came back as Damian Sandow. When he came back, he would have been eligible for this. But if he was sharing time, not eligible. You follow? A little bit more explanation than probably needed there, guys. Sorry about that. We're going to start with our number 5. A girl that I'm really impressed with. I think she's going to go a long way. I've met her in person 2 different times, and both times she was nice, she was sweet, she was caring. She went out of her way to sign autographs for everybody in the crowd and take especially good care of the little kids, which I think will go a lot way. Her love of wrestling and her character are so infectious that I think that she's going to be a big star, and that's Bayley. I just love everything about her. I love the way she wrestles. I love how she is. I love her as a person. I think she's going to go very far. Next up is our number 4, the number 1 contender for the NXT title, Prince Pretty Taylor Breeze. Almost said Tyson Kidd. Taylor Breeze is a guy that if I tell you the gimmick, you're gonna think you hate it, but once you see it, you're gonna go, this is pure genius. I mean, the guy has locked on to something, and he's going with something that's going to make him a huge star, in my opinion. Now, our number 3 is the NXT Divas Division Champion, Charlotte. She has some huge shoes to fill, being the daughter of Nature Boy Ric Flair, but as we've seen on TakeOver and as we've seen here and on several other matches, her natural athletic ability is starting to show through, and she's showing why she's one of the best female talents anywhere in the WWE, NXT, or main roster. Just a great addition. I think it's only, again, like most of these people, it's just a matter of time before they're called up. I think she's absolutely amazing. Number 2, a guy we talked about a little bit ago, Sami Zayn. What's not to love about Sami Zayn? He gets the crowd involved, he puts on amazing matches, The indie fans like him. The WWE fans love him. Everything about the guy, he's just an amazing talent, and I think it's, you know, the sky's the limit for a guy like Sami Zayn, especially when we have smaller wrestlers like Dolph Ziggler and Daniel Bryan recently winning world championships. A guy like Seth Rollins becoming a major part of the television show. A smaller guy like Sami Zayn, where 5 years ago it would be ridiculous to expect him being a future WWE champion. Now it's not so ridiculous. Now it's within the realm of a possibility. And last but not least, our number one is the tag team champions of NXT, the Ascension. The whole presentation, the entrance, the way they wrestle, their mannerisms, everything about them screams star. They're kind of like a hybrid between the Eliminators from ECW and the Road Warriors. They dominate everybody they get in the ring with. They have hard-hitting offense. They're leaps and bounds the best tag team in NXT. And probably within a few months of being on the WWE main roster, they'd be either the best tag team or the second best. The Usos are a damn good tag team in my opinion. But these guys are just waiting to break out and waiting for that call up. If you watch them and you see their entrance alone is worth the call up. It's kind of harkens to The Undertaker, something different, something special. Sets the tone for who they are and what they're about to do. Just a great team. Connor and Victor, I think it's going to be, I think once they get on the main roster, they're going to be one of the best tag teams in the world. They already are. They're just not in the position that says they are. But basically, that's all I have to say about that. My name is George Coles, and this has been our debut NXT review on Heel Heat.